Are you looking for an FCS magazine? Well, I've got something for you that's 10 times better than an FCS magazine, and it's the Phil Steele Plus FCS 6-month package. Now, first of all, a magazine will give you probably between 500 and 1,000 words written about each team. We give you more than that in the Phil Steele Plus FCS package. You do get a complete write-up on each team. Let's bounce into a couple of them here. Let's say maybe Wofford, for example. When we click on Wofford, you just go right here to the 2021 forecast. When you click on that, this tells you everything about Wofford in the past 5 to 10 years, including what they did last year, what happened in the spring. It tells you what kind of offense they run, and look at all the in-depth coverage on the offense. Here's the in-depth coverage on the defense, the special teams, and the overall analysis for the team. That's on Wofford, for example. We cover all the teams, though, for you. And down here, where you click on the conferences, let's go to the Southern Conference, for example. You can see the teams in the Southern Conference. Let's pick another one to look at the forecast. Just see here. This is VMI. Once again, a complete forecast, what type of team they've been, what type of team they were in the spring, what is the offense, what is the defense, what is the special teams, and what about their total year? What do they look like for the upcoming season? So that's on every single team. You'll get that with the Phil Steele Plus. So it's like having a magazine. You'll get the write-ups on every team, except you're just going to get a more in-depth write-up on each and every team. Now, a magazine may give you the schedule for the upcoming year, and our schedules aren't up yet. They'll be up very shortly. It'll have the whole schedule for the whole team. We're going to give you the whole schedule, but the advantage is we're going to update it all season long. Color-coded green and red. You can tell here. I love looking at these pages. This is just like Phil Steele Plus, but this is the FCS Plus, but it's the exact same. When you look at these pages, they're color-coded in green and red. So you could tell here, VMI had trouble stopping the run. It jumps out at you at a glance, doesn't it? And you could tell for the season what it was. The red numbers are bad numbers. They had a tough defense. Look at that. Offensively, they had their moments. You could tell when they had their moments. The black numbers are where they've got average numbers. Red numbers are below average. And that's on every single team. And we take you back all the far. But as far as the schedule goes, we will update this all year. You'll have a schedule for this year, which will be updated shortly. And then as the season goes on, you don't have to fill in a magazine. We fill it in for you. So that's a big advantage there. How about the individual player stats? Well, a magazine would give you maybe your top rusher, top passer, and top receiver. We give you your top 5 rushers, top 3 passers, top 5 receivers, actually top 5 passers, if they had more guys than that attempt to pass on the year. So we give you that advantage for the past year, but we also give you the previous year and the previous year before that. So 3 years. You could tell that Reese Udinsky was the starting quarterback here for VMI. Then it was Udinsky again here in 2019. And let's take a look at this past year. We give you game-by-game breakdowns. So you could tell that Udinsky was the starter for these 4 games and then gone 4 games. And Seth Morgan took over. I believe Udinsky was injured at this point. And here's how Seth Morgan did in each of his 4 games. How about that for in-depth analysis on the teams? That's not something you're going to find in a magazine. Now, you know, I don't even put the individual game stats. I don't have room in my FBS magazine, which is 3 to 4 times the amount of information in any other magazine. We can't put the individual game stats in the magazine, but you get them right here online. You could tell here, look at Cody Britty, how he ran the ball at the start, then must have got injured here and finished with 349. Did get injured. After back-to-back 100-yard games, he got injured. And their quarterback went down. And yet VMI still had a very successful season, winning the division and making it to the playoffs for the first time maybe ever. Was it the first time ever? I don't know. Let me look at the forecast here and see what it says. VMI was plus 86. It was their first ever playoff game versus one of the toughest teams in the country. It's all right there for you on each and every page. So I've showed you the individual stats, which are up here. And these are updated on every team all season long. So if I click over here, we can go to any team out there. Let's go to North Dakota State, for example. Here's their stats for last year, all their different players. You can see right here Trey Lance, who was the first-round draft pick, what he did. You want to see what Trey Lance did on a week-to-week basis. It's all in there for every week. And this goes back the last 3 years. So you've got the last 3 years. Easton Stick was their QB, then Trey Lance, and now they've gone on again. And it's Zeb Nolan has moved on, by the way. If you look here at last year, Zeb Nolan was their quarterback, and then Cam Miller took over down the stretch here. But all that's for each and every team. Far more information than you could possibly get out of a magazine. How about past year scores? Now, what a magazine might have would be this part right here, Central Arkansas and the scores of the game. They might provide that for you. We've got this completely provided for you on each game, each team, complete stats, who's rushed for how many games. Once again, color-coded green and red. Look, North Dakota State actually struggled against the run versus South Dakota State. Other than that, they've been great against the run all year. One poor game. South Dakota State's, of course, the team that made it to the finals and was a favorite in the final game of the season. But once again, a tough defense. They've had a couple of games like that. Look at that. South Dakota State got 220 on them there. That's interesting. So South Dakota State has had success running against them. Here they had 175 and 5.6. Let's see what they did here. This is fascinating. 144 4.0. But we give you is 2021 spring, 2019, 2018, 2017, 2016, 2015, 14, 13, all at your fingertips. 12, 11, all the way back to 2010 for the individual game stats. Color-coded green and red for 11, so last 10 years at your fingertips. You want to take a look at series history, you're an instant expert. You've got the series history at your fingertips. Every game that's been played the last 10 years, not just the scores, but who dominated the game statistically. Like last year, look at this. Southern Illinois had a 25-12 first down edge against them. The previous year, when they played, did they play Southern Illinois? Yeah, they had a 22-14 first down versus Southern. So all that's at your fingertips. You also get here the offensive foe versus defensive average. Now, last year was wacky, as you know, with COVID. And due to the fact that some teams played in the fall, some teams played in the spring, we weren't able to bring this over here, the offense versus foe, defense, and defense versus foe. But here, North Dakota State held opponents to 103 gained 103 yards above what their opponent's average allowed, and held opponents to 102 yards below what their opponents normally average. That's at your fingertips each and every week, as is this individual game grade. And making the individual game grade even better is it not only gives you the ongoing thing for the season and then gives you the average right here, but it gives you the last 4 weeks average right here. So as you could tell, they were playing at a 90.5 level the last 4 weeks for the entire season, an 87.7 level. And 2 of their worst games were early on in the season right here. So as you could tell, if you put this in, so you have updated power ratings each and every week during the season, last 4 weeks power ratings, last 4 weeks yardage during the season, how they've done against the conference, how they've done against non-conference, how they do at home, how they do away. It's all right here at your fingertips, updated all season long and over the last 10 years. So right here, you get better write-ups, not just the scores from last year, but the scores from the last 10 years, and not just the scores, but the complete recaps of the game, not just the leaders from last year, but the top 5. And in fact, every player that ran the football, every player that passed the football, they're all in here. This guy had 1 catch for 5 yards. He's in there. You'll have all that at your access, at your fingertips, making it 10 times better than a magazine, because the magazine, you basically use it for a month. You're going to pay, what, $12 for an FCS magazine, maybe, if they had them, which they don't. You would think maybe if they did have them, they charge $25. But you're going to use that for 1 month and be done with it, and you'll have to somehow keep track of the scores yourself. This keeps track of everything for you all season long. And another beautiful thing about what we've done this year on the team pages, let's go take a look at the Southern. Well, who's the favorite in the Southern? Who's good? Who's bad? Look at this. Here is your preseason Southern Conference poll, a little bit about the Southern Conference, what's happened this past year. Your preseason poll, Chattanooga is the favorite, Sanford 2. VMI, last year's champ, is picked 3rd by the coaches, and by the media, VMI is picked 2nd. ETSU is 3rd. Here, ETSU is 4th, and Sanford's picked 5th by the media, but the coaches have them 2nd. That's all at your fingertips on every conference. Who's the offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year, first team offense, second team offense? It's all in there for the Southern. It's all in there. Let's go to the OVC. Same thing. Here is your OVC, all your players. Here's the poll. So you have an idea of the strength of the teams. You can go back and look at the individual game grades if you like, and that's all there. So you've got all that at your fingertips for the FCS, 10 times more than a magazine. We do now. If you're an FCS, if you're a Phil Steele Plus member, you get all this included. The FBS Plus, or Phil Steele Plus, I should say, gets you the FBS, FCS, NFL, everything for $69. But if you're just an FCS fan looking to get FCS info, you can come here. Phil Steele Plus FCS Season Pass, $29. Now that's for 6 months. That's going to be August, September, October, November, December, and January. When it gets to be playoff time, you've got this at your fingertips. Every game. You can go back and look what every player's done in every game for the season. You will be an instant expert on the FCS. But since you watch this, I'm going to give you $5 off. All you have to do is type in FCS Kickoff Blog when you go there. So it's access to 128 FCS team pages, individual game grades for each team, offensive YPG versus opponent average, defensive yards per game versus opponent average, last 10 years game-by-game stats, last 3 years top 5 leaders, all pages updated weekly. How do you get it? Well, you just come over here, go to the home page. When you go to the home page, click on the store. Let's click on the store right there, and here's Phil Steele Plus. Now, Phil Steele Plus gets you all that for FBS, NFL, and FCS for $69. But if you want to get it for $24, just click on here right now for the $29. This is your FCS Plus access. We're going to hit order now. Let's view our cart. I might have just ordered it twice there. Here's $29. We're going to update one, and we're going to apply our coupon. And our coupon code here is FCS Kickoff Blog. And when we do that, we're going to apply the coupon. And we've once again ordered it twice. We're just ordering it once. Well, there's the $5 off, and we're getting it to quantity of 1. Well, you understand what I'm doing here, but you can see it takes the $5 off, and you get it for you get it for $24. $24 will get you the FCS code if you type in that code on the coupon. So once again, just go right here. It's under FCS Plus Access. When you go there, order now for $29. You get it for $24, 6 months of FCS access. More information than you can get in an FCS magazine, but better yet, it's updated for 6 months. So make sure you sign up today. Get your FCS access. Everybody's looking for an FCS magazine. You can get an FCS magazine, but get one that's 10 times better right here. I'd like to take this time to thank you for watching today's blog on the FCS, and hopefully we got a lot of FCS fans out there. Make sure you get your subscription in and save yourself the $5 today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for taking the Phil Steele Plus tour.